The year is 2025. America remains deeply divided on immigration. For immigrants, life in the United States is fraught with anxiety and uncertainty. The Trump administration's policies have created a climate of fear. ICE raids are common. Families live in the shadows, afraid to even go to school or work. The dream of a better life seems increasingly out of reach. The political climate is toxic. Republicans and Democrats are locked in a bitter battle over immigration reform. Republicans favor stricter enforcement and increased border security. They point to isolated incidents of crimes committed by undocumented immigrants. They use these cases to justify their hardline stance. Democrats, on the other hand, advocate for a more humane approach. They call for a path to citizenship for undocumented immigrants. They emphasize the economic contributions of immigrants. Caught in the middle are millions of people. These immigrants are essential workers, students, and families. They contribute to American society in countless ways, yet they are denied basic rights. They live with the constant threat of deportation. The situation is dire, but amidst the darkness, there are glimmers of hope. The debate over immigration is not just about policy, it's about fundamental values. It's about what kind of country America wants to be. Will it be a nation that welcomes those seeking a better life? Or will it be a nation that turns its back on the most vulnerable? The answer to this question will have profound consequences for generations to come. The future of America hangs in the balance. President Trump's plan to detain thousands of immigrants at Guantanamo Bay has faltered. The logistical and financial challenges proved insurmountable. Transportation costs soared. The facilities were inadequate. Interagency power struggles hampered the effort. Legal challenges mounted. As of March 2025, only a handful of detainees remain at Guantanamo. Undeterred, the administration has sought alternative detention sites. Fort Bliss in Texas is one such location. These facilities are often overcrowded and lack basic necessities. Reports of human rights abuses are common. The financial cost of detention is staggering. Taxpayers are footing the bill for this massive operation. The human cost is even greater. The use of detention is a controversial aspect of United States immigration policy. Critics argue that it is inhumane and unnecessary. They point out that most asylum seekers and undocumented immigrants are not a threat to public safety. They argue that detention should be a last resort, used only in exceptional circumstances. The Biden administration had pledged to reduce the use of detention, but the Trump administration reversed course. The number of immigrants in detention has skyrocketed. This has placed a strain on government resources and overwhelmed the immigration court system. The situation is unsustainable. The battle over sanctuary cities continues to rage. These cities have become flashpoints in the national debate over immigration. Republicans accuse sanctuary cities of harboring criminals and undermining law enforcement. They point to isolated incidents of crimes committed by undocumented immigrants. They use these cases to justify their calls for stricter enforcement. Democrats defend sanctuary cities. They argue that these policies make communities safer. They allow local law enforcement to focus on local priorities. They foster trust between immigrant communities and the police. Studies have shown that crime rates are actually lower in sanctuary cities. The Trump administration has sought to punish sanctuary cities. It has withheld federal funding and threatened legal action. However, many cities have resisted these efforts. They have vowed to continue to protect their immigrant residents. The courts have also weighed in. They have ruled that the federal government cannot force local jurisdictions to enforce federal immigration laws. The debate over sanctuary cities is ultimately about local control. It's about the right of cities to set their own priorities. It's about the balance of power between the federal government and local jurisdictions. The outcome of this debate will have far-reaching implications for American federalism. Despite the challenges, there is hope. Across the country, grassroots organizations are working tirelessly to support immigrants. Groups like Catherine's Caring Cause in Chicago provide housing, legal aid, and other essential services. They are a lifeline for those navigating the complex and often hostile immigration system. These organizations rely on the dedication of volunteers and the generosity of donors. They are driven by a deep commitment to social justice. They believe that all people deserve dignity and respect regardless of their immigration status. They are a powerful force for change. Advocacy groups are also playing a vital role. They are challenging unjust laws in court. They are organizing protests and rallies. They are educating the public about the realities of the immigration system. They are giving a voice to the voiceless. The fight for immigrant rights is a marathon, not a sprint. There will be setbacks and disappointments, but there will also be victories along the way. The struggle for justice continues, and with each passing day the movement for immigrant rights grows stronger. The hope for a more just and compassionate immigration system remains alive.